we are officially back. So we're going to recap from what you'll see as like the previous podcast that will be deleted. So we basically just talked about Andor and how we both agree that Andor is one of the best Star Wars shows, and we both are going to give our scores. I gave it a 9 out of 10. You're up, Playboy Parker.
I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yep, so there we go. So you got your scores at Andor, and now we're going to move on to our next thing because we have so much to get done, and I don't want to be up super late, so we're just going to try and get through these topics because a lot of professional podcasts kind of speed round it and just get done as soon as we can. So yeah, so next thing we're going to do will be a bit lengthier of a topic, but I'm hoping we can condense it into just, at this point we've discussed enough. I think final thoughts are important. So as you guys know, because we haven't done a podcast for a while because I was sick and other things, it just wasn't feeling up to being on mic for a long time, we're going to talk about full spoilers of Wakanda Forever for you guys. So what we're going to do for this round is both of us have kind of given our own reviews online already on this, so if you guys want to know our takes on it in full depth, you can watch our videos or Letterboxd, whatever you want to do. You can either read it or you can look it up and see videos of it. And so we're going to kind of condense it into smaller thoughts. So going back and forth, I guess we'll just go based on, do we think Wakanda Forever lived up to what people were expecting it to live up to?
What do you think?
I think it didn't fully live up to. Like, it is a worthy sequel.
If we're talking about like people in general, not ourselves.
Yeah.
I think right now, if you look at the media, most people, I would say 8 out of 10 people are like absolutely, for lack of better words, stick writing the movie.
Yeah, they absolutely love it.
They think
exactly.
it's like the best thing ever, and they also, I've heard people say it's better than the first one. And I just
that's not true.
I can't imagine how people think like that. Like,
yeah, it's very weird to say that it's better than the first one, because I think the first one is just very good. This movie had some cool things in it, but as we'll get to in the later spoilers, there's some issues with this movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty apparent issues. Like, it's not like they're not small things. So that was weird. We just jumped into the match and then it was already over.
We automatically lost.
Yeah, so I guess the number one things that we can talk about, I guess the positive. I liked Ironheart. I'm looking forward to her show. I liked M'Baku, even though he wasn't in a ton of the movie, was very good. Namor is a great character, but I didn't feel like they utilized him as much as they should have in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my main thoughts. And if we're getting into the negative for me, just because I want to do mine and then you'll do yours, I wish they could have done a little bit more with Atuma too. I felt like Atuma just being kind of a side character. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, but I didn't have huge expectations, so like, it's whatever. For me, my biggest drawback is the end credit scene was a bit overhyped. And I still don't fully. I get why they did it, but I also don't know. But I also don't know why they thought that was the right move and that was going to make people so hyped. The other thing I say is the action scenes are pretty good in this movie. There's some interesting Ryan Coogler shooting stuff. Like, it was pretty good. Nothing compared to what the first movie had, but still pretty good for a Phase 4 MCU movie. I will say that my final thoughts are some of the final battle stuff with Namor is cool, but the final battle I have quite a bit of issues with, and most of that is there's some stuff with Namor that in the storyline with the things he did that don't really line up, like the fact that him and Shuri are just going to be in an alliance now, even though he killed the Queen. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a treaty, even though you murdered my mom in cold blood, but whatever. So that's an issue I have. My number one issue I have more than anything, though, is the fact that I get that Shuri has to beat Namor. I get they have to come up with a reason, but I just don't buy that she's able to just, even though she's a scientist, I just don't buy that she would be able to, because we hadn't seen any apparent training on screen, that she would be able to just kick him in the head so high and just that she's a pro at it with only one chance at doing it. So that my biggest problem is, I told you guys going into the movie that I had problems and fears of Shuri's Black Panther. The movie only confirmed my fears to be real. And that's really, and I wouldn't even call that a disappointment. That just shows how predictable the movie itself was. But I think that's all I'm gonna say on this. I guess if I have to score this movie out of 10,
0 out of 10.
I'm not gonna be that mean. I'd give it, out of 10, I'll go with 7. Cause I could maybe go an 8, but I think I'm happy with the 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
7. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate this movie as much as some other people. Like, I have problems with it, but there's
You
still
hate it as much as I did.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, you're up.
My turn? Oh no.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well, for anyone who's watching, if you like this movie, I'm about to shit on it. So.
Yeah, usually.
I'm gonna be nice and start off with the good. What I liked about this movie, I liked how they got the whole T'Challa death thing out of the way from the first 5 minutes of the movie.
That
They
was
didn't
good.
linger on it too much. It kind of came back a little bit, but it was more with the Queen instead of him. But
Yeah.
the fact that like his death, his whole if you've seen the movie, you know why she's upset. She couldn't save him, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's quick, it's brief. It's not like they linger on it too much, because if they did, it'd be awkward.
Yeah.
So that's good. Second great thing. Namor is a badass. I love Namor. He's probably my favorite antagonist from Phase 4.
Really, overall,
I
of any of the antagonists? Wow.
Probably. Yeah, 'cause, like, who else is there? I mean, Green Goblin's pretty cool, but we've already seen him before.
Yeah, but that
or-
specific version of him was pretty awesome. Like I love Goblin in No Way Home. Yeah, it's fair.
Gore is Gore. They've been too sympathetic. Yeah, everyone else sucks. So anyway, yeah. I love Talokan. I love the whole mythology of Namor's people. I think it was a better. They went in a great direction, because obviously they couldn't do Atlantis because of Aquaman, and I think it worked better than favor, because I love the whole underwater temple thing.
It's funny you mentioned underwater. I cannot wait till James Cameron sees this movie and tears the shit out of this movie, just for like, really,
Well, hey,
blue people.
He can't say that they came first because Wakanda Forever did it first.
Yeah.
Which one's the better movie? Probably Way of Water, but we'll see. Anyway.
I just think that's hilarious because he's gonna say something stupid.
Yeah.
I just know it.
He's gonna have a question where he's like, well, they kind of took my idea, but it's okay because I made $1 billion movie. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the good. What else is good? Nakia is good. I love Nakia.
Yeah, she's
awesome.
good.
She's a badass, and I love seeing her. M'Baku's great, like always.
Yeah, Boss was definitely good.
In terms of everything else is pretty subpar. I will say the acting is a step up, I guess. I think one of the best performances. Now, I love Namor. Don't get me wrong, I love Namor. But the best performance in this movie has to be from Angela Bassett.
Yeah, that was a good performance.
She just dominated, like acting-wise, she just dominated everybody. So she's great. And I'm trying to think of something else I can give this. I'm gonna give one more thing. Let me get this. Can we talk? Wait, can we say spoilers? Are we allowed to say spoilers?
Yep. Yeah, you can talk about spoilers.
All right. Killmonger came back.
Yeah.
Yay! He was like the little shimmering light in this dark, terrible movie that I hated.
Yeah, even though we all just know this movie would be better if he was Black
Oh
Panther,
yeah,
but
see,
yeah.
when you say that, that makes me want to shit on the movie. So
Yep.
I'm going to shit on the movie. What sucks about this movie? Everything. It's too long. There's so many unnecessary scenes. Ironheart looks like a Power Ranger. And I get why they needed Ironheart in the movie, but also, you could have had anybody else but Ironheart and still saved her for something else. It could have been any other genius, but they wanted Ironheart because of reasons. Yeah, it was so fucking bad, and I don't even like her in the movie. She's just so... she's nothing. Her character is nothing. She has no personality. She's basically just Shuri, except... Well, no, they're both smart. Yeah, she's just Shuri. She's basically just Shuri. There's nothing else.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
She's basically Shuri from the first movie, because Shuri's a depressed emo fucking ass in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is another stupid thing. It's, okay, I get why she's all depressed and emo, but she's a completely different character from the first, like, the only scene that we get that's kind of like her from the first movie is when they go to Riri's apartment.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's literally it. She's a completely different character, and there's no consistency there. Let's see, number two, I fucking, well, not number two, I've just been going on. I hate the post-credit scene. Not hate it, but I get why they're doing it, but it's so fucking obvious and it's so corny. It's like, yeah. My name is T'Challa, son of T'Challa, like, shut the fuck up, kid. Like, I hope you get, I seriously hope you get, like, no, I can't say that. But I just, I didn't like that. It was so obvious and so stupid. What else did I not like about this movie? I kind of feel like, again, well, one of the parts where I thought the movie got too long, they could have cut like 30 minutes of this movie. The whole like Everett Ross and Val thing. So on top of Namor, on top of Ironheart, and on top of the whole Shuri subplot, you have another whole subplot with Val and Ross, which just is being shoehorned in there so it can set up Thunderbolts. And this is what this movie is shoehorning in a bunch of stuff so they have more setup for other things. And it just doesn't work. It's just too much. And honestly, like 10 minutes after one thing happens, you're like, oh yeah, this is happening. And then you're like, I forgot that I cared. Because you don't care. There's nothing in this movie that you can really care about. Last thing I'm gonna say is, Black Panther movies are 0-2 for CGI battles at the end. I don't want to hear anyone saying that the CGI looked at the finale looked any better than the first one, because it didn't. Why does Ironheart look like a Power Ranger? And why do the Okoye, those blue suits that they're wearing, they look stupid. They look like video games. And Shuri flipping around the boat, no, it just doesn't look any better than it did in the first movie. The only good CGI scenes were with anything with Namor and Tarlokan. Also, Atuma, kind of underwhelming. I loved that he was kind of his right-hand man, that he was a pretty good fighter, but they didn't really do anything with him, which is, I don't know why they didn't do anything. That was stupid. Weak Marvel movie, very weak Marvel movie, honestly. When you take a step back and you look at the movie, there's just not much there. There's a few things to get excited about, but there's like maybe 30 minutes of the movie that I actually care about, and the rest of the movie could just be thrown in the dumpster because I don't really care. Out of 10, this movie's like a 5.
That's pretty fair. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry for my little rant there. That's my review of Black Panther 2. You can go on.
No, you had to. You had to do it, man. Everyone's gotta sit in pieces. And I agree with pretty much most of those things. Are very valid. I will say. So now we're gonna move on. I'm glad you enjoyed our talk about Black Panther, because now we're gonna move on to complete. From now on, this entire rest of the podcast is gonna be torn up by consistent Marvel updates. So the first thing we'll talk about is a more recent thing I wrote in my notes, which is that apparently, I'm glad you. I know it sucks that you didn't like it, but apparently, Shuri's gonna appear in the Ironheart show. So, I guess there's reports that those two are gonna still be palling around.
No.
Hopefully, it's only for like an episode of like one scene or something. I mean, we'll see.
I hope it's like the Rhodey cameo in Falcon Winter Soldier with like one scene.
Yeah, maybe it's one scene. It's really quick and it doesn't even matter. Like we'll see. I really don't have.
It's not that I don't like Letitia Wright, because like I think she's been fine after. It's just I don't like the Shuri character like I liked her before. I don't like her anymore. She's just so whiny and pouty, and she thinks she's doing something, but she's not.
I agree. I completely agree.
She's so annoying.
This is my problem with half the women in the MCU. Is the fact that
don't say that. Don't say that.
I mean. No, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say, well, I mean, it's true, but I mean, whatever.
It's only true for some people. Like I would say it's true for her. It's true for Carol Danvers. It's true for maybe She-Hulk, but that's really it. No one else is really like that. But okay, because when you have those three characters and you put them back to back, it's just like I don't want to.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make strong, powerful female characters, I'm all for that. I love Black Widow. I think Black Widow's underrated.
Yeah,
the Black Widow underrated.
They have some great.
Miss Marvel kind of grew on me. Not gonna lie. Like the first 2 episodes aren't that great, but as a character, I don't think she's terrible. Like I don't think she's terrible. Ironheart's not insufferable. I don't like her in the movie. I don't think she needed to be in there, but she's alright. Obviously, I love Wasp. She's one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I love Wanda.
Yeah.
I don't mind powerful female characters, but make them interesting and make them likable. When you make them dull and one-sided, it's just like I don't want to see this person anymore.
I think the thing for me that really just, since we're on this topic about her, the thing that really bothers me is one thing I didn't say in my personal review was that I hate how they tried to copy the Revenge Civil War storyline with her and tried to make us care about her revenge. It's just like, no.
Well, it's just the exact same thing that T'Challa went through, and it's like, obviously this film was meant for T'Challa, but, like, come on, you had months to redo the script. Like, you could have had something more original, like,
I agree.
T'Challa over again.
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like this topic with her and Ironheart, it's whatever. It'll probably hopefully be one scene, and it's like a super quick scene, and it's over. We won't even think twice.
If they make her like an actual character in the show, like a consistent character, I might not watch the show.
All right,
I'm not even kidding.
In the brighter side, in real news, we hear that Quantum Mania script is said to be one of the best scripts that Marvel has ever written. So this
psychs me up so much. If you guys aren't excited for Quantumania, get the hell out of here.
I'm glad to hear your thoughts about that, because we also have some upcoming news on more Quantumania news happening next week. Because I'm hearing that there's going to be some sort of panel next week for Guardians and for Quantumania. So it sounds like there'll be more Guardians 3 news and news about Quantumania.
I heard that James Gunn's gonna do something special for the release. That's what I heard.
Yep.
I heard that he's gonna have a panel, but I also heard that there was gonna be some. I don't know what he was gonna do, but there was gonna be some kind of reveal.
Well, there's some sort of event that's happening next week, because it said I heard something about Mando Season 3 being mentioned next week. And then there's going to be something about Guardians, and then something about FB, and something about Quantumania. I've heard a lot of people are saying it's a very high possibility they might try and reveal one more trailer, maybe for Quantumania.
Oh my gosh! You know how excited I would be?
Yeah.
I am a Quantumania stan. I have been standing this movie since we got the title for it. Like, people don't understand. People have been sleeping on Quantumania, and I'm glad that it finally got recognition after the trailer, because no one really cared about Quantumania before the trailer. They're like, oh, it's another Ant-Man film. I love the Ant-Man films. like, Kang or not, I love the Ant-Man films. I just like the Ant-Man.
Oh, I
and
agree.
people have been sleeping on Quantumania, and I'm glad it's getting recognition now because
Yeah,
it's
I was
gonna be
pretty
such an amazing movie.
I was pretty
And to hear
confident that the.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was pretty confident that it was going to be a good movie just because I enjoyed the other two Ant-Man movies, so I'm not really worried. I enjoy the character.
I mean, to hear that it's also supposedly one of Marvel's best scripts, and hearing that and knowing that Black Panther exists and Endgame and Infinity War exists, that just makes me even more excited. And
Absolutely.
Again, I'm never gonna get my hopes too high because that might be just somebody's opinion, but I'm expecting a solid, like an actual solid Marvel movie, and I really do think we're gonna get that.
Yeah, until it's changed, I think we can say that that's pretty confident that we'll have that happen. So yeah, that's a pretty cool thing that we've discussed, which is pretty awesome. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is, so there's been a lot of Thunderbolts news lately, and one of the new pieces of information is that they wanted Ryan Gosling to play Sentry. So this. And I heard a new description and I don't know how Marvel's going to get away with this, but apparently in the description for the script, it says they want Sentry to be basically evil Superman versus the Thunderbolts. So I wonder how they're getting away with that wording. That's interesting to me.
Can I give my thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're both thinking this right now. Are you getting Suicide Squad vibes from this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is it definitely sounds like it sounds like they're going for Suicide Squad, or what's the video game that's coming up soon?
Oh yeah, Justice League. Yeah, to kill the Suicide Squad.
That sounds like what this is gonna be. I do have I have a couple problems with Sentry though. I don't mind Sentry being in the movie, if the plot is Thunderbolts versus, like, basically Thunderbolts, like Suicide Squad versus Justice League, or in this case, them versus the Thunderbolts versus Superman. I don't mind that. I think it's definitely something new.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just me. What do you think of Ryan Gosling as Sentry? I kind of wish they would get someone not really like a no-name actor, but someone who's not really like, I don't want someone who's a huge name, you know? Like,
I understand that. I understand that. I also feel like it depends on the direction they take with it. Like, if they can show that, like, out of all, because he is a good and talented actor, if he can really capture the essence of, like, being, because here's the thing we have to remember, okay? I don't think this movie is gonna be as one-sided as simply, oh, the Thunderbolts are just going up against a supervillain, you know? There's gonna be a reason for that supervillain to be a problem for these villain, anti-heroes, whatever you want to call them, right?
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that the reason they shoehorned that Wakanda stuff is because some big stuff is gonna, David Harbour was dropping some hints the other day, and it seems like some big stuff is gonna happen with Thunderbolts and Wakanda. It sounds like there's gonna be some big stuff that happens. So I think,
which is weird, because then why are they involved? I honestly, after the whole like Wakanda thing where Val was talking about, you know, I dream of what America would do if we had our hands on like that much of vibranium.
yeah,
I'm like, okay, I think the Thunderbolt movie might be like a heist movie where they try to infiltrate Wakanda and like grab as much vibranium as they can. But now, learning that the movie is basically them fighting Superman, it's interesting. I don't know if I like it as much as the heist movie, but it's definitely interesting.
I think that's the thing we don't know. We don't know what Sentry's involvement and what makes him the main villain yet. Like, we have to learn more. I'm going based off the idea that we're in Wakanda and we're after certain things.
Well, it's kind of weird,
and that's going to be interesting.
It's kind of weird because Sentry, I don't think Marvel. You know what Sentry like? You know about him?
Yeah.
He's not really. He's sometimes like. He is kind of a Superman, but he's also not really. His powers are more diverse.
Yeah.
I would say if anything, you know who Hyperion is, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm a big fan of him.
I would say Hyperion is more of Marvel's Superman than Sentry is.
Well, here's the interesting thing, and I'm glad that you mentioned this.
Kind of weird.
I released a YouTube video about this because all the people on Twitter and reports are saying that they for sure want Sentry, but I've heard people that, since they talked about doing Squadron Supreme in that movie as well, that Hyperion was also an option. So I'm kind of hoping they go Hyperion instead of Sentry, because I think Hyperion makes more sense.
Yeah, he's he's much more of a super. Like, I don't, if it's Sentry, cool, but don't make him like a Superman. Like, don't give him like, don't give him Hyperion's powers, because Hyperion is more of a Superman. If you're gonna do a Superman, do Hyperion.
Yeah,
if
and I feel like
if they know they're not doing a Superman, then I'm cool with Sentry. But if it's a Superman, you might as well just use Hyperion.
And I like the idea of the.
I think Ryan Gosling would be a better choice for Hyperion.
Yeah, I agree, and I do like the idea of of the Thunderbolts being up against. So let's say hypothetically they do bring in the Squadron Supreme to deal with Thunderbolts at some point, right? Yeah. I like the idea of having two teams against each other. I think that makes it more interesting than, oh, here's evil Superman, he can eradicate everyone. Because then they have to come up with a dumb reason for what possible reason do the Thunderbolts beat Sentry? Like what do they come up with that they're able? What, they have a magic weapon that just allows them just to beat him?
That's the thing too. It's like, how do you, even if it is Sentry or Hyperion, how are the Thunderbolts gonna, like, you know it's gonna be some Suicide Squad type BS, so it's like, oh, somehow that happened. It's like, is that really realistic? Because then, honestly, if they let the Thunderbolts beat Sentry, Sentry's just gonna look like a bitch.
Yeah. Like, so if they do,
which makes me nervous, because I like Sentry and I don't want him to look like a bitch.
Yeah. I feel like if they did Squadron Supreme, then there's more room and options for what they could do. So I feel like it'd be different. I agree. Yeah, that's why I was trying to clarify my video. I was like, where are these reports saying that's for sure Sentry? Because I've not heard one person confirm to me 100% that it was Sentry. I've heard both things. I
haven't heard 100% confirmed. I haven't heard 100% confirmed, but I have seen I haven't heard a lot of people say it's gonna be Ryan Gosling, but I have heard the whole it's gonna be Sentry is probably likely.
Yeah, I heard it was rumored. Yeah, I heard it was rumored. Now I'm hearing, FB has got a question for us. Would you like to see an evil Hulk versus Hulk battle in Secret Wars? It depends who the evil Hulk would be. So if we're talking like either Red Hulk versus our Hulk, or like if we're talking like Maestro Hulk from another timeline versus our Hulk, then I'd be down for it. I think those are two examples that I'd be cool with.
Honestly, when it comes to that, like, when somebody asks me, or whenever like someone comes up with like, oh, hey, would you like to see this?
Yeah.
My only answer for them is Secret Wars. Like,
and that's what they say.
Those are the only two words you have to say. When someone says, would you like to see at some point Wolverine versus Spider-Man? All I gotta say is Secret Wars. I think it's all like, whatever possible matchup we could think of in our heads, it's gonna happen in Secret Wars.
Well, yeah, his question was, would you like to see an evil Hulk versus Hulk battle in Secret Wars? So
yeah, I mean, of course we would. Like, I think that's not a dumb question, but it's like, yeah, of course you would. Of course.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. I agree. All right, so let's see. So I was trying to think so we had those ones, and then I think there's only two other bigger Marvel stories that I remember that are correct. So it's so the next one that I think so I think the next one that will be pretty big is, we gotta talk about the one that came out today. So today we learned that Vincent D'Onofrio, and this is gonna be a quite lengthy topic because there's two parts to this, and he came out with another statement about Echo as a show that I thought was very interesting. So he said, so I guess we can do the Echo thing first since that's the shorter topic.
I didn't hear the Echo thing, so you have to tell me.
So the Echo thing I heard was he was praising the actress that played Echo's performance in Echo.
Okay.
And then he was saying
A lot of cops.
yeah, and then he was also saying that the show is very different to what people are expecting, and then he said that obviously it bleeds into Born Again in the last couple episodes. And he said that the stuff with him and Daredevil in that are laid the groundwork in Echo is pretty good. So but I'm more excited about the stuff he said about Born Again, honestly, because what he said about Born Again is like borderline, like crazy TV teasing. So the big stuff with him, what he said about Born Again was first he said it's his end game in the MCU to fight all three Spider-Man. Now you guys can make of what of that with what you will, but I just think that's freaking awesome. And as an actor to say like you're joining the MCU and you want to see him just like do something like I want to see him fight a Spider-Man, so I'm just kind of going on the small pipe dream. Yeah, will Kingpin fight Spider-Man? Absolutely.
Dreams come true in the MCU.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing is ever impossible. You remember when we thought that all three Spider-Men, like ever being a sharing is going to be impossible? I mean,
because Secret Wars and other events that happen, I'm not gonna rule out the idea that there could be three Spider-Man facing off against Kingpin. I definitely do not. I'm not against that idea. I think it's definitely up there, and I think it would be super awesome. But the bigger thing is, Vincent D'Onofrio was talking about how this show is going to go deeper into Daredevil and Kingpin's characters, even more than the Netflix show did, which is going to be really cool. And Vincent D'Onofrio says that each episode, because remember, with the Netflix show, we could watch it all at once and binge it, right?
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a weekly show and it is 18 episodes, he said that that basically when you finish one episode, he promised the audience that you'll be begging for the next one. So,
well, is Born Again going to be like the Netflix ones, or is it going to be like the weekly?
Well, it's still going to be a weekly show, from what I've heard. It's because it's on Disney Plus. It will be weekly, but we don't know the format of the show because we don't even have a trailer yet. We don't know like we don't know if they're going to release 2 episodes the first day or if it's going to be 1 episode and then they do it, right? So
obviously, I'm kind of biased because I like to do the Netflix format where you could just watch one and continue on the next. You could always like leave off on a cliffhanger and you could just immediately
but I like the idea of a weekly show of like having that like feeling of like if a really good cliffhanger happens, that kind of bump could really give some good conversation to happen and some good theory crafting. See, I like this. I like that they both seem very excited to be back.
Especially on our podcast. It's gonna
I agree. I'm pretty excited. That's gonna make a great weekly. Like that's one of my top tier things for phase 5. So I definitely am very much anticipating that. So I'm very excited.
Yes.
Sorry, FB, it doesn't happen. All right, so we had 3 other questions, or I guess a statement and then 2 questions. So, number 1, he asked us our favorite version of Venom. Now, if you're talking about just the comics, which I'm going to guess you are, that means the different people who have the identity of Venom. So, the only 2 that I'm really the most familiar with is Eddie Brock and Flash Thompson. Now, Flash Thompson...
Well, there's been a ton of different Venoms. I mean, the symbiote... If we're talking about, like, the symbiote itself, Venom, he's attached himself to pretty much any character you can.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about just the character of Venom based on what he says. But, for me... Oh, he meant favorite host of Venom. Okay. So, between Flash Thompson and Eddie Brock? Okay.
Well,
no worries.
Peter Parker was also one of those.
Yeah.
He was also a host at a certain point in time. And if I had to go with my favorite, I would probably say Peter Parker, because the black suit is just iconic. Like, you can't...
It's very iconic.
It's
but in terms of, like... But in terms of host and like in terms of characters and how it's enhanced the character and made the character more interesting, I probably would go, as much as I like Eddie Brock as Venom, I would probably go Flash Thompson because he's had adventures with the Guardians. They made him more of like a Punisher Venom. Like, it's pretty cool. I'd probably go Flash Thompson. I like Flash Thompson and Eddie Brock. For me, Venom is kind of, it's Venom when they're called Venom. Like, Peter inherits the symbiote, and he has the symbiote, but like, he's still Spider-Man, you know? So it's like, that's how I feel on that topic. But, yeah, no, I think that's good. And then, okay, and then your next one was, you said, my favorite superheroes or characters are Spider-Man, Daredevil, Moon Knight, so I'm happy. Oh, that's good. Yeah, those are great characters to have as a favorite. Do you have another question, 2FB? Because I think we did all our topics, if I remember correctly. Unless there's a Marvel topic that we're missing. Was there one that came out that I didn't say?
I feel like you're missing a ton, Joe.
What have I missed? Because I covered the Ant-Man Quantumania. But what was the other big announcement? Because I remember I covered...
I don't know, Joe, you're the one writing the script. You're the one who remember it.
Well, yeah, I wrote things in the script.
We didn't, how do you didn't write those down?
I didn't. I wrote down everything.
Jenna Ortega is supposed to be White Tiger.
Oh, that's right. That's the one I forgot. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that because I had a video made on that already, like, 2 weeks ago, so... okay.
Man, Jenna Ortega is so hot.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I'm down for that. And I'm down for like I told you earlier today, I'm down for the idea of Daredevil meeting other street level heroes in his show.
She was confirmed for Born Again, right? Was that the show?
Yeah, that's what it's being said is she could be. Okay, now he says
I don't think they're gonna. Oh, sorry, were you?
No, go ahead. Yeah, I'll listen to you first, and I'll read what FB said.
Okay. Well, I thought we were talking about her being White Tiger.
All I've heard from sources is that it was rumored she was going to be White Tiger.
What do you think? Do you know, like, how much? What's your extent of knowledge on White Tiger?
Oh, I love the character. I'm a huge fan.
I grew up with the Ultimate Spider-Man show, so
that's
I know
my
a lot
history.
about her character, and
to be honest, I was kind of surprised.
She's an awesome character. I don't think they're gonna go with the whole like ancient. I mean, they could. Like, I don't know what route they're gonna go, but I think it's gonna be a pretty dope. I don't know. I think Jenna's gonna kill it, and I
like the idea of her being more of a street level based character. Yeah. So I think that will make it pretty awesome.
I think she's gonna be more self-made than we like. Because I remember White Tiger from the series. She was more like kind of. I don't know. I
like the idea.
I can't remember how the whole thing worked, but I think she got her powers from like an ancient stone or something. I don't remember, but I think in the MCU she's gonna be more of a self-made hero. Cause you notice like a lot of these heroes now are like up and coming, like Riri, Miss Marvel, Spider-Man. They're all like self-made heroes that all kind of want to do their own thing, and I think that's how White Tiger is gonna be.
I'm excited to see what's going to be Daredevil's quest in Born Again that would lead him to meeting someone like White Tiger.
Well, I think, I hope this is it, but I hope like every other episode he's going to run into someone new. Like, one week it's going to be Jessica, the next week it's going to be Punisher, then White Tiger, then maybe Spider-Man. I mean, we don't know.
Well, we do know that Spider-Man's probably going to be in the show because they're saying that the fourth Spider-Man film is going to be... He's going to be in that show at some point. I can already tell. I don't know what deal they had to make or whatever.
I kind of hope that I kind of hope that every other week it's a new character.
Could you imagine if Daredevil Born Again is just Heroes for Hire, but like Daredevil just going on and like these quests and adventures, and he's teaming up with different characters? Because that's what I wanted from a Spider-Man movie. But
I could kind of see that, but I don't think it's going to be exactly that.
I was just using it as a hypothetical example. I don't think that's exactly.
It's not going to be every week like She-Hulk was for the first few weeks. I think it's going to be every other week, like week 1 and then skip a week and week 2. I think it's going to be that, but it's going to be like he's not going to like team up with them, but he'll probably run into them and say like, oh, Like this is what you do. They'll probably show the character off a little bit and then they'll move on to the next thing.
But I've also kind of gotten
I've
kind of gotten the vibe that they might do more team ups because of the fact that Charlie Cox has even said that Daredevil is gonna like
depending on how much like creative control Charlie Cox has in the show, then it could happen. But if it's not really in his decision, I don't think they're gonna go. I don't think Kevin's ready for that. But you know.
Yeah, there's talks of Tom actually signing on for that. For that, he's signed on for multiple projects now. Can Deadpool have killed Thanos on his own? Yeah, he could. He definitely he'd be able to pull it off.
Maybe.
Because Thanos
if we're talking about MCU Deadpool and MCU Thanos, I'll give it a solid maybe.
I mean, I think that Thanos would, just on normal comic book logic, I think Thanos would underestimate Deadpool's abilities.
If we're talking comics, then obviously Deadpool could. But if we're saying live action, what else? We gotta talk about Chris Hemsworth, man. It's
the Thor thing. So okay, if now he's also saying if Doctor Doom attacked Wakanda, could Namor turn on Wakanda? Oh, you're saying like betray Wakanda because he didn't want to be involved against Doom? Yeah, he could turn. Like if he wanted to not. That's his right. He gets to choose whose side he's gonna be on. Like
I think like if we learn anything from the end of the movie, it's that Namor kind of just keeps to himself and it sounds like that. It sounds like that tree, like quotation tree he has with Sherry right now isn't gonna last because he literally said, "Hey, he said to his, I don't know who he was talking to, but he said to the lady, he said to the girl, he's like, basically what he said was, hey, when we get the chance, we're gonna backstab them and we're gonna take it all for our own."
He's like, yeah, betray and help Doom. All right, so like you were saying,
Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, so are you talking about the fact that he says that he's gonna be done? He wants his next appearance to be the end? So Chris Hemsworth says that he wants, whether it's Thor 5 or whatever his next appearance, he wants it to be the last time he plays Thor.
I think what he said was his next appearance should be his last. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I get his point. Unless they come up with with Love and Thunder, unless they come up with a really good storyline a way for him to continue, they've kind of done a lot of things that people want to see with Thor. Like, there's more storylines you can do with Thor, but like, I feel like they have a direction for him, but I don't think they need to continue to use that character as often as they have to anymore. Like, there's certainly things like, we'd love to see Thor in Secret Wars, which I think would be great. But we also don't need the only reason I would want to see a potential Thor 5 is just to see Thor deal with Hercules. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be the only one.
I think that's probably gonna be his, depending, because he said appearance. I believe what he said was, what would he say? He said that he should have one last appearance, and it's kind of like, it's a loose term because it's like, do you mean like, your solo film, or do you mean like a team up film?
Maybe he's more referring to his solo film, and then
because they left the Hercules thing open, so they got to do that, and then I think after that he'll probably be done. Like and I wouldn't be mad, honestly. I honestly, after Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't think I'm doing another Thor movie, but obviously they're probably gonna do another one, but.
Here's the way I look at it. It's cool to have the OG Avengers come back from time to time, but we're getting all these new characters that people want to see, and honestly, this might be me being selfish, but I got Daredevil and Shang-Chi to focus on. I'll be fine. I don't need to know what Thor's up to.
Characters that they're introducing, you don't really need to see, you need to see Thor again. At least in my opinion.
I agree,
alright, we've been there, done that. We did the whole Jane Foster and Gore thing. Honestly, where else can you take Thor?
Yeah.
Thor's pretty much done like all of his great characters. Like
Yeah, it's good for an ending. It's good for him to. I saw someone throw a theory out that it'd be cool if they like had Thor go into like some sort of multiverse dimension where he has to fight better versions of all his enemies that they screwed up.
Yeah.
So they could kind of right the wrongs of the previous Thor movies, which would be cool. But I'm just cool with him just dying at the hands of Hercules, actually, and just ending it. I think I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, for sure. What else we got?
And then let's see. So what else was it? I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I had written down.
I'm looking through my phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Oh, what do you think of that? We got a new still from Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, there's one.
Kang
Dude,
looking fresh in his suit, man.
I love it, dude. He has one of the most comic book accurate suits I've seen, and I love it. I love this suit. Sounds good, FB. Oh yeah, you have one more question we gotta answer. I forgot. Could Black Adam defeat Darkseid live action? No. I think Darkseid would win. Even though we've only seen Darkseid in the Snyder Cut, that seems like just like the comics. It seems like a no-brainer. Oh, you got more questions? Okay. We're ready for more. Do you have a take on that? Black Adam versus Darkseid, or did I say it pretty good for you?
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard match because we don't know what Darkseid can do yet.
I'm just going based off that when Zack Snyder made Darkseid in the Snyder Cut, he knows that what Darkseid is capable of. You would just think that he would know.
Yeah, I guess Darkseid. If we plan on doing comic accurate Darkseid for the DCU, then probably Darkseid.
I did hear some things that were interesting. Did you know?
No, I didn't.
Did you know that apparently there's because you know James Gunn is now
apparently.
been hard. What's apparently? So
no, you tell me.
Yeah. So apparently James Gunn has been doing a lot of hyping up over what his new plans are at DC, and the conversations. There's been a lot of conversation about Batman over at DC.
No.
And something I'm hearing that's not confirmed, but there are apparently talks that because a lot of people with Matt Reeves wanting to be separate from the DCU with his movies, there's a lot of talks that there might be a different Batman leading the main like DCU stuff, right?
Another one?
No, but it won't be another actor. It's gonna be one that we might already give use, because I'm hearing, especially with the new direction of James Gunn and everything he's got planned, I don't know how many years they could keep this going, but I'm hearing that The Flash might actually not be the end of Ben Affleck's run as Batman.
I hope not. I think that should be the main DCU Batman forever.
I agree. I think if they want to do that, I'm game for it.
Affleck deserves to be a great superhero after, like, it's not like he didn't fuck up Daredevil, it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
He's such a good Batman. Well, I'm not gonna say he's an underrated Batman. He deserves to have his time in the spotlight of the superhero stuff.
I agree. I mean, he's my second favorite live-action Batman, so.
Yep.
I mean, if you really think, like...
You said second favorite? Who's your first favorite?
I still like Pattinson the best for what I like as Batman, but...
So you put Affleck over Bale.
So I have a couple problems with Bale's portrayal of Batman, but...
Wow. I have not heard that one before.
Really, I like Bale, but I just... For me,
it's
just
more
like...
realistic. It's more... It's more realistic. Like...
It is realistic, but like...
They backed it up with actual... They backed up, like, Batman existing with actual, like military hardware and tech and technology.
And I have no problem with the realistic. I'm just kind of one of those people that, like, I'm happy with
the Nolan films are such... I mean... Christian Bale is such a great Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, he's a great Bruce Wayne.
His Batman's not the best, but it's still a great Batman. Like But
that's my thing. If you just look at like if we're looking at the Batman portion alone, I just feel like
I think overall, though, if you take everything into consideration, it's probably still a better Batman than Affleck was.
Yeah, I just
Affleck
haven't.
I don't know.
I mean, I just feel like we just didn't get to feel like I'm taking Affleck's little moments, and for me, the thing that I think was the most important, what makes him Batman to me, is both Affleck and Pattinson just showed how amazing of a fighter both versions of Batman have proven to be. You know, like with Christian Bale, unfortunately, Christopher Nolan is not a great choreographer master, so I didn't feel like I know he was making a more realistic Batman, but like he didn't show Batman to the potential that fans of Batman want to see Batman be. You know,
that's true.
Like where the other two Batmans have done that. Like, and I think that's what makes it great is with those two and the reason I give Pattinson a higher grade than Affleck is because one, Pattinson's introduction was in his own Batman film, right? So you have that advantage, but also you have the advantage that Pattinson is the one that got to do the first thing that they've never truly done with the character in live action, which is make a real detective Batman. Thanks for dropping a like. And that was something that fans have waited for a long time.
Yeah, and his Batman's just so, I don't know, it's just, Pattinson's Batman he's probably the most interesting Batman we've gotten.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
So far.
And that's what I love about it. It's so interesting and what we want to see from Batman.
Down to aesthetics and everything. Like,
yeah. And I hands down just love his voice as Batman. Like I love how he, even though we didn't get to see him talk a lot in the movie, when he was Batman, it was awesome. It's so good.
And it felt natural too. Like he didn't have to like force the voice, like kind of like how Bale did.
Yep.
And kind of like how
Ben did.
Ben, he didn't really force the voice because they kind of just made his voice kind of a robot. Like they did you, but for Pattinson it felt more natural, and I like that.
That's an interesting question, FB. Will Kang force Ant-Man to destroy the multiverse? I don't think so, because I don't think Kang wants the multiverse destroyed. I mean, he kind of needs the multiverse, so... Appreciate you, one-on-one. Yeah, I agree, like, with Batman and stuff, I do agree that we need to see more of Ben Affleck, especially with things going good at DC. It would be great to see more of his Batman, especially because I just don't think that they're going to make Pattinson's Batman the DCU Batman, but you never know. I mean, money talks and people change, so you'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Like, I mean, it could depend, because depending on how comfortable Pattinson gets in that cowl for a while, when Matt Reeves decides, oh, I did 3 Batman movies and I'm done, you could get something like, oh, maybe James Gunn comes to Robert Pattinson's and like, hey, we're doing Justice League movies now. Here's Robert Downey Jr. money. You want to be our Batman for longer than just your own standalone movies? And like, say, man, money talks. And he might be like, I'm liking that cowl, man. I'm liking that cowl. Like, it was like, I'm not saying it could happen. I'm just saying the option is out there. Like, never.
That's a very, very bad decision for Warner Bros.
Well, I'm not saying it would happen. I'm just saying that we have to consider all our options.
I think the day that happens is the day that DC dies.
Yeah, that would probably be a bad decision, but I'm just putting
Pattinson's Batman it's too different from, you can't, that's not a Batman you can have like a...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think like the actor would be the same, but I think they would change the character to fit more the universe. Like, if the Flash is gonna open the multiverse, maybe they could have...
I don't even know about that. Like, even that... I don't know.
I mean, it just really comes down to if Ben Affleck, because if you think all the other, they're not going to cast an entire new Batman now that because they brought Keaton in for Flash. They're They're bringing in
I hope
Affleck for
not.
Flash.
They already have too many.
Yeah, so it's like they would have to keep someone around of the people they have to be
Just keep
Batman.
Affleck.
Yeah.
I think they should just move forward with the current DCEU
Oh, I agree too.
characters.
The only problem I worry about that is what if Affleck is feeling like after these last couple performances, he doesn't want to do it anymore. That's what I wonder.
Well, then you can always pass it. Like, obviously they're doing the same thing with Black Panther. You can just, they can always do a younger Batman, Batman Beyond sort of thing. Remember
True,
that?
they could set that up. That's true.
They can always do, a Nightwing or.
If they decided to switch it up and they made a Justice League that was led by Nightwing instead of Batman, I would be completely okay with that. I would have
maybe
no
Dick Grayson
problem.
is Batman. I mean, maybe they'll
That'd be
go
good.
for something completely different and like very unexpected and have Dick Grayson be Batman.
I love Dick Grayson enough as a character that anything they do with Dick Grayson in a leadership role, I'm gonna be 100% on board with. So, I definitely would be a fan of that. I think that'd be cool.
Speaking of DC, how are you feeling about our final days going into Guardians holiday special? What do you think? What are your final thoughts?
I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be just a fun adventure.
Yeah, I'm really liking the special format, and I'm glad they're doing this. I think it's gonna be
I mean,
something
Werewolf by Night was so good,
every-
so I mean, I think this is gonna be fun. I'm excited.
I think it's gonna be something we can come back to every year. Now,
Yeah, just kind of give a fun little tradition. Yeah, so I think that'll be fun. It will be a nice little holiday special. And
I
speaking
will
of,
I will be watching. I will be rewatching Hawkeye for the holiday seasons.
oh, that's a cool idea to rewatch. I'm excited. I'm glad you mentioned holiday things. I'm pretty excited. Next week, I'm getting excited to go watch Violent Night. So.
Oh my God! Yes, I'm going to. Me and my dad are gonna go see that.
That should be awesome. I'm excited. I can't wait to see that
Good
movie. I
old-
love David Harbour. I love the idea of a rated R
I think
Santa
it's
Claus
such a
movie.
great. I think it. I know we mostly just talk about DC, Star Wars, Marvel, but we gotta talk about some other stuff here.
Yeah,
I think that is such great casting. David Harbour as Santa Claus is such a great casting. I couldn't imagine anyone else who's more of a. I couldn't imagine a gritty to play a gritty kind of Santa Claus other than David Harbour. I mean, that's just.
And I love the fact that this isn't just people that are just throwing together this sort of crazy action thing. The fact it is the people that worked on Nobody and have already good. Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, just knowing that they have those magic hands behind it, you know it's gonna slap because you just like those guys know what they're doing and they're on a roll. Like it's perfect. I'm so excited about that.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this week. The Knives Out sequel.
That should be awesome too. Are you seeing it in
very
theaters?
excited for that. Did I see what?
Are you excited? Are you gonna see it in theaters or are you gonna see it in Netflix?
I might. I'm not sure yet. Should I? Do you think I should? I was kind of hoping we could stream it.
Yeah, if Connor's up for it, I would be up for it. I'm
definitely gonna watch it anyway on Netflix. Because I know my family wants to watch it, but yeah,
I want to watch it because I was a huge fan of the first movie, and I really am excited about.
I think Knives Out, the first one is when did that come out? 2018, 2017?
Yeah.
Or was it 2019? I don't know. Knives Out is such an underrated, like, not enough people talk about that movie. It is such a great movie. Like, honestly, maybe possibly one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, it is.
Oh, it is a great movie.
It's just such a great, like, you watch that movie and I couldn't, even if I tried, I couldn't find something to complain about because it's such a well done movie. And I mean, I'm a sucker for whodunits. I don't know about you.
I agree. I loved it. I thought everything was great. The twists with it was good. All the way that they build up to the character stuff. Yeah, I'm a fan of those really good, well done whodunits.
I'm a Chris Evans fan, so you know.
Absolutely, I was down with that for sure. I knew he was gonna be in the movie, but I loved how they played that off in that movie. And I'll tell you this much, and I don't know if you watched this movie or not, but I will tell you this much: I'm completely okay with Chris Evans as an actor, playing more bad guys. Because one of my biggest guilty pleasures, one of my biggest guilty pleasures of this year, is did you watch
The Gray Man?
the Gray Man on Netflix?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so the movie is like.
I know it's like he's the bad guy.
But him as the bad guy in that movie is just like, it's got to be one of my favorite performances of the year, just because he's playing like. Have you seen The Walking Dead?
Is it like the character in Knives Out? Because if it's like Knives Out, then I'll probably watch it.
He's a little more over the top than Knives Out because he's like a really big dirtbag, but he's almost like. Have you ever seen The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a little Negan to him at the same time. Like you look at him as like he's really, and he's a super badass fighter.
I can't possibly see Chris Evans as a Negan type. He's always been like the golden retriever of actors for me.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, he's so gray in that movie, but like he has so many great one-liners and just it's so good.
I might check it out then, yeah.
I would say you watch it just for him because some of the showdowns between him and Ryan Gosling are pretty cool, but the number one thing is when he's on screen, some of the stuff he says with his big old mustache is just great. And the fact is,
I will say one of my favorite Chris Evans performances. If you want to see just a great, like, a gritty version of Chris Evans, watch Snowpiercer.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Fucking great movie.
Yeah, I like that one.
I honestly, I can't get enough of that movie. I love the series. I like the series. The series is amazing, but I think it would have been much better if Chris Evans came back for it. I know it's a completely different version of the story, but it's oh my god, I'm gonna die.
It's a great choice. So now he's asking, who do you want to see Wolverine fight? Are you asking about in Deadpool 3 or if he appears in Secret Wars? Because that's two different situations.
Well, I think he's going to be the same person if he appears in Secret Wars, right? It would.
Well, I'm just. Sense, right? You think in Deadpool 3 he'll fight the same people that he fights in Secret Wars?
What's his question?
Who do you want to see Wolverine fight?
A fight? I don't know, just regular bad guys, like, what kind of question is that? I don't know, I guess, I just want to see him tear up, I just want to see him beat up, or not beat up, I just want to see him rip through a ton of bad guys.
I'll tell you who I want to see Wolverine fight because it's been a dream of mine ever since my comic book days, and it's a dream of Hugh Jackman himself, and that is, I'm down for, if you bring in Wolverine into Secret Wars, you gotta give us Hulk and Wolverine, like the iconic comic book cover, finally fighting. I think that scene would just be incredible to have recaptured.
I guess, yeah, that's...
a lot of people want to see that, so... I don't know, it's just more...
yeah, a lot of people like, Hulk and Wolverine will be like, make that the next Batman v Superman. I've never been like, wanting to see those two fight, like, that's... Like at the end of the day, I think we know Wolverine could win that fight.
I want to see it just because not only comic book accuracy, but also the fact that Hugh Jackman himself has said that was one of the things he wanted the most if he ever got to join the MCU. So like, I think that's definitely on his list still.
What a prick! What a fucking prick!
Oh, you don't like him now?
Have you seen that movie, Reminiscence? So fucking bad.
Yeah? One bad movie doesn't make him...
I hate that movie, so therefore I hate him.
I understand.
I had a very bad experience watching that movie. It was just so boring when I fell asleep, and then we walked out of the theater.
That's funny.
But no, yeah, I think... If I had to pick someone if I could see Wolverine fight anyway in the future, you know, Hulk, yeah, that's cool. We know he's gonna fight, Deadpool, but I would say Mr. Sinister. I want to see him fight Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, I would like to see Mr. Sinister. I'm still a fan of Mr. Sinister and him fighting. Going to be cool. Did you get to check out Disenchanted on Disney Plus?
No, I don't really care about the whole Disney, I could care less, or I couldn't care less, honestly.
I liked it. It was good.
don't really watch like Disney thing. Like I haven't even watched what's that new thing that just it's coming out soon? Strange World, Disney Strange World. I know about it. I'm never gonna bother watching that.
Did you hear about why? Do you hear about why I think Titans is taking a little hiatus after episode 6?
I did not know it was taking hiatus. Is it?
So when you look at the trailer for Titans, season 4, it says part 1 started in November, right? So after episode 6, which will air next week, they're going to be on break till probably January. And I'm now noticing that Doom Patrol is coming out December 8th. So I don't think they want Doom Patrol and Titans running at the same time.
Oh wait, Doom Patrol coming out the new season?
Yeah. So his new season streaming December 8th. New poster got released today. I'm just looking on Twitter since we got the podcast going for more news.
You're pulling my leg right now, aren't you?
No, man, dude, I will send you the screenshot. You don't believe me?
Oh my god, I am about to freak out, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm about to scream. Oh
yeah, Doom Patrol's awesome, man. I want to catch up on that. I'm gonna have to do more watch parties.
Why did I not hear about this? What?
Was it getting buried under all your other news stuff?
I don't know. I don't know why
I literally just sent you a screenshot.
Let me see this shit. Oh my gosh.
Doom Patrol boy.
What happened to Cyborg?
I don't know, man. Maybe they just didn't want to put him on the poster.
Oh man, let's go, bro. Let's go. Okay, you know I'm gonna be watching that like day one.
Should be good, man. Gotta love Doom Patrol.
I love Doom Patrol, dude. It's my favorite DC. Second favorite DC show.
Yeah, Doom Patrol's cool.
Right after,
My vocabulator is at a loss for words.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
A tragically remote ice world.
Actually, no, I'll put it third. I like Gotham more than I like Gotham more than If I had to rank the DC shows, which here you tell me your ranking. I'm gonna say mine first, then you tell me yours. Yeah. If we're talking DC shows, like out of all Gotham, like not just DCEU.
Oh, overall, I definitely like Gotham a lot. So I would put Gotham.
Yeah, I would go Peacemaker 1. Number 2 would be Gotham. 3 would be Doom Patrol. 4 would be can I say one? I feel like I'm blanking on one right now. I think Titans would probably be 5. I'm trying. There's one that what would be? Okay, I guess Titans would go to 4, and then 5 will be I don't think they're like I guess Arrow. I don't know. I watched Arrow. Arrow was fine, but it was
people are gonna be pretty. Anybody who knows me knows that in terms of DC shows, and mostly because of that I've actually met the actor, so I'm a little biased, but also the fact that I enjoyed the show for what it was. And don't hate me, Arrow is probably my number 1, just because of my history that I have with Arrow.
No, because shut up, Joe. The only reason you're saying that is because you met Stephen Amell.
But
he couldn't give 2 fucks whether you like that show or not, alright?
But dude, I also loved him.
You're not gonna get a special reward for saying that.
But that show was also amazing to me because, for me, what I loved about that show was a lot of my favorite DC characters I got to see get in that show and fight off against one of my favorite heroes as a kid. So, to me, that was awesome. And also, what I really loved was I grew up reading like Green Arrow comics and reading and watching the Justice League cartoons, and I always thought Green Arrow was just a joke of a character, right? Oh, it's Batman being funny. But then when I watched that show, I was like, holy shit, they make a Green Arrow dark now? And I was like, wow, that's awesome. I remember that That shit was awesome. Just watching him like torture and murder people. And I was just like, oh, that's so good.
Okay, I am so confused now.
What are you confused about?
Okay, so I'm just and now I'm getting reports that apparently Alexander Skarsgård and Ryan Gosling are in talks to play Hyperion.
So is it gonna be more of a Jekyll and Hyde situation, or it sounds like it's more okay?
I don't know. I thought that Ryan Gosling was gonna play Sentry, but now they're talking about.
See, this is what my guess is that there's. My problem is there's not consistent reports, so no one has proper information. Is what I'm seeing.
I guess not. Yeah, because now they're saying Alexander Skarsgård, which you know from Tarzan and Godzilla vs Kong fame.
Yeah.
He's in talks to play Hyperion too. So, you know, we don't. Who knows?
Yeah, I definitely would say in terms of other DC shows, Gotham's probably my second favorite show. I would say
Gotham's
out of all the
amazing.
shows,
Yeah.
I loved Gotham. Oh, I love Gotham. I love everything about Gotham. I mean, Cameron Monaghan, who is Cal Kestis in Star Wars Fallen Order,
He was
dude.
the worst part about the series.
Oh, you didn't like him as Jerome in Jeremiah? Really?
Not really. It was kind of goofy.
Well, that's because they couldn't do the Joker stuff because they had to limit themselves because of the stupid rules that were going on with DC at the time.
Did you hear about Spider-Verse having 7 different animation styles potentially?
I think that's awesome. I'm excited for that movie. So I think that's great.
I think, and I was gonna. Oh man, it's so sad because they delayed it. I think in just a month we would have had the movie, but they had to delay it. Sadly.
I'm excited. I'm glad they're using the spot because nobody's been using the spot in a long time, and I'm excited to see them use that character.
I don't think anyone's ever used the spot ever, which is great. I'm glad.
Not since old school Spider-Man cartoons, which is what I know him from. So. I'll say this, man. The best thing about the '90s was the Marvel cartoons. They slapped hard.
Oh my gosh! It wasn't even just Marvel; it was DC too. I mean, the Batman animated series.
Yep, slapped.
And then you had I don't know, you had other things too, but yeah, Marvel. Wow. You had Spider-Man, obviously. You had the Iron Man show.
Iron Man show was pretty good. Yep, that was good. Yeah, there was some good stuff.
I kind of grew up with the later cartoons. Though. I grew up with Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah, those are good ones too.
I grew up with Teen Titans.
Yeah, there's no disrespect for the later eras. There's some good stuff in the later eras too.
I think one of my favorite superhero shows growing up as a kid has to be Young Justice. I grew up with Young Justice.
Oh, I love Young Justice. I still need to watch the newer season on HBO Max. I haven't finished that. I gotta finish that.
Yeah,
I love that
watched
show.
a few seasons of it when I was younger. It was some of the best, like.
Oh, it's a great show. Yeah, it's a great show. It sucked the way that Cartoon Network had to treat it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm glad HBO Max was able to.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean it's fine, but it's like it's hard to believe that Cartoon Network not only gave us one of the best superhero shows in Teen Titans, the OG Teen Titans, but they gave us one of the best animated shows of all time in the Clone Wars.
Oh, Clone Wars is great, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how much Cartoon Network can do.
Oh yeah, they give us some good stuff. They've given us some good stuff for sure. Yeah, that's a good era of everything. I feel like there's been like constant things that slap from that era. So yeah, it's some good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with those older. Those older cartoons are pretty rad. I've seen Earth's Mightiest Heroes so many times. I'm a huge fan of that show.
Oh really?
Yeah, dude, I love it.
Yeah, it slaps. Not gonna lie.
It was the kind of Avengers show that you needed. Like it was pretty awesome, and I like how they used the whole Kang arc in that show is so good. The connection between Kang and Tony Stark is so good.
How do we feel about Spider-Man freshman year potentially not happening?
What's not happening?
Once again, no one ends an argument.
Spider-Man freshman year.
I mean, if that ends up being true, it'll be sad, but I mean, we'll see.
I don't mind if they that's one of the shows where if they do end up canceling it, I don't mind. Doesn't really affect me.
I agree.
And one more thing we got here. Have you seen the leaked pictures of the new Marvels characters?
I did see that actually.
I am in love with Monica's suit. She looks so good.
Yeah, it does look good.
I can't wait to see Spectrum.
I'm surprised that they actually gave me
kick-ass.
something to get me excited about that movie because after Miss Marvel, I did not think I would.
Obviously, I don't really care about anyone else. I'm going for her, dude. She's awesome.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, she was one of the best parts about WandaVision, so why
She
not?
can be my Dami. I don't care. Fuck She-Hulk, dude.
Dude, why Quentin Tarantino? Why you gotta be jumping down the same pipeline that James Gunn?
Oh,
not James Gunn, James Cameron. Quentin Tarantino 13 hours ago. You have all these says MCU actors are not movie stars. You have all these actors who have become famous playing these characters, but Captain America is the star. Thor is the star. Yeah, no, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Get the fuck out of here, get Quentin Tarantino. I love his movies, but dude, like, fuck, I don't understand why these directors, like Scorsese or Tarantino, Cameron, they just can't respect each other. Like,
I honestly think
they can't respect. Oh, just because a certain industry wants to make fun movies, like. Marvel's not trying to make Oscar like Academy Award-winning movies. They're just trying to make fun movies for fans to watch because that's how they make money.
Do you know what I think?
You don't need to fucking shit on them because obviously they're not trying to go for like fucking Academy Award movies like you guys are.
Do you know what I think is funny? I have two opinions on that, on why they do that shit, and it's funny to me. So
tell me why.
So one of them is that I think that they're jealous because I think when a comic book movie comes out on top of when they release a movie, they lose money at the box office. Yeah, and that pisses them off. And on the other hand, I think, and then I also think that maybe not Cameron, but I think Tarantino's a little mad that he doesn't get asked to do those big blockbuster type of stuff, like in terms of like the paychecks they would get.
Could you imagine how much money Tarantino could make if he made a Marvel movie? I'm sure you know what? That would make sense. He's probably fucking pissed that he never got a call from Marvel saying, hey, you wanna come direct a movie for us? Make the big bucks?
Even though with his type of movies, I guarantee that he probably would his ideas would probably get shut down or at least changed.
I have a good question for you.
Yeah.
If Tarantino made a Marvel movie, what character would what movie would he make for a character? Like,
I want a Tarantino Ghost Rider movie. That's the movie I think that would be good. I think that would be a good. That's a good question.
I'm gonna go with the opposite. I know I said Marvel, but I'm gonna go in the opposite spectrum. I would love Tarantino to do like a Lobo movie.
That'd be cool. Oh yeah, make him do DC. Yeah, I'd be down.
Oh man, how fucking cool would that
That'd be cool. Speaking of which, I'm glad you mentioned those. Ever since we were mentioning like movies, I read something with James Cameron today that made me laugh. So off the Avatar trailer that came out yesterday, you know how they revealed the runtime is like 3 hours and 9 minutes and something?
Yeah.
Apparently when he was editing the movie, a Fox executive came into his, like, I guess one of the CEOs came into his office and was like, you need to make Avatar Way of the Water shorter, and he apparently told the person to get the fuck out of his office.
Oh no. Oh no. This is why James Cameron can never work for Disney.
I'm just laughing. Now I really want, I know this is horrible to say, but now I really want Avatar 2 to be not good because it would be so funny just to like, be like, oh, what happened? Are you trying to make it
worse? If it's worse than Wakanda Forever, I hope the entire internet shits on his movie.
They should.
I want the entire internet to just shit on his movie.
Like on the one hand, I want to get hyped for it, but
what the fuck happened?
Yeah, like at the one
12
point.
years to do this shit, bro.
Yeah, like at the one hand, I want the movie to be good because I like the promise of the first Avatar, and I think an Avatar 2 could be awesome. But at the same time, I'm also like, dude, you've been talking so much smack. I hope your movie is trash because you deserve something to be trash. And with the smack you've been talking,
He thinks he's so high. Like he thinks so highly of. Like it wouldn't be a problem if he didn't think that he was better than literally everybody else.
yeah.
Like oh, like he might not think I'm the best. Everybody's like, oh, I make the best quality movie. Like Marvel, they're just clowns. Like shut up, bro. Like Cameron has never made a movie as good as Winter Soldier.
And also, let's also remember that no matter what your opinion of James Cameron's previous movies are, James Cameron to this day, and I don't care, people can debate whether they're Avatar lovers, whatever movie they're lovers, there is no better movie that James Cameron has made since he made T2. Terminator Judgment Day is the only true, as close to a masterpiece of a movie that James Cameron can say claim to fame to his name. Whenever anybody thinks of James Cameron, yeah, people might be like, people today, oh, they'll go Avatar.
I was saying T2, but I would also say, Titanic. I like Titanic a lot.
Most people I know say T2 over anything, but Titanic is good as well.
Maybe a hot take. I know people like praise T2 Judgment Day to be like the best, one of the best, well not only Terminator, but one of the best like actions like movies from the 90s, 80s.
Yeah.
I like the first Terminator more than Judgment Day.
That's interesting. Because so many people are just praise that movie, so I'm surprised.
I like the hospital real quick.
No, it's fine. I mean, Judgment Day, there's nothing wrong. I just think it's funny that I've yet to see a movie that James Cameron has made that comes close to his earlier good films. So to me, it's just sort of funny that he's talking to all these other movies.
Yeah, he knows he can't say shit because he's a liar.
Like, he can't even make decent movies about blue people, so why is he allowed to smack on other things, so, but he can't make...
He's copying Marvel.
Yeah.
But
if I hear a bunch of people say that, like, when they do like first reactions to the movie or like how early they drop the embargo for the movie, if I heard people that are like, oh, Avatar: Way of the Water is like one of the greatest movies and one of the best movies, I'm instantly expecting it to be bad and that they were paid off to start dick riding. Like,
they're paid off by anyone who says that is being like, you can't even tell by the writing. It's like, oh, cool. Like,
if I hear one person say that it's like the best movie of the year, I'm going to literally go off on someone. Just like, no.
Take him. Yeah.
I do not think anything in the rest of this year will maybe beat. The only thing I could say that could maybe be good enough to get on the same list as the Batman for the rest of the year, because we only have literally 1 month until the year is over, right? The only other movie that has the potential to get up there would be if Knives Out 2 is just incredible.
Could be.
But I don't want to say that I think Knives Out 2 would be on the same level as the Batman, because...
It's hard because one's on a streaming service and the other one's like a theatrical release, so it's kind of not fair.
Yeah, I agree. Even though they are doing limited theatrical for Knives Out.
Exactly, and they're only doing limited. Like, they're not doing it for the entire runtime. They're only going to do it for a week, and I would more compare it to see how, like, I want to see how well Avatar does compared to how well
Kill spree halfway completed.
What's it called? You know what I mean.
Wakanda or what's?
Wakanda Forever. Yeah, like how well it does compared to Avatar. Even though because Avatar comes out in what, like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Wakanda Forever is still gonna be a very popular movie, so I want to see how well, like, I want to see, does it dominate Wakanda Forever, or is it like, you know? Because we know that Wakanda Forever dominated Black Adam. So.
Yeah, I think the number one thing when in terms of that is gonna be, I think Wakanda Forever, because the stuff with Chadwick had so many things riding on it. Where you're gonna get people with Avatar, they're like, oh yeah, sequel about the blue people. Okay, I'll watch it. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I'd be very curious to see what pre-sales look like, because the only thing that I see going big for it in terms of pre-sales is that it's coming out on a week fairly close to Christmas. That's the biggest thing I have going for it. Like I don't see anything else really. And since Shazam moved, it doesn't have any real competition.
I agree with that.
If Shazam was supposed to come out when it's supposed to come out, then I'd say, oh yeah, no, then it's over, because I think Shazam 2 is gonna be freaking great, but
yeah, I think Shazam's also, like, along with Quantumania, Shazam slept on. It doesn't do enough. Like, I mean, the first movie,
so good, yeah.
I love the first movie. I think this next one's gonna be too.
Yeah, this next one's gonna be really good. I think they're gonna crush it.
Was that all for our topics?
I think so, yeah. I was waiting to see if FBU was gonna say anything else, but I think you went to bed.
I think he left. Yeah, I think he left.
Hey, no worries there, man. It's all good. We made it to almost 6:30 in the morning, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's not 6 yet, so it's okay. Yeah, gotta get some rest. Got another exciting.
You wanna do your outro?
Oh yeah. Thanks for coming on to Better Call Maul, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next podcast next week. Have a great day. Or
see ya.
Yeah, see ya. What's good? Nice. That's pretty cool. All right, man.